The next to give one of the shorter panel presentations was Dr. Joseph Lumbard, Assistant Professor of Classical Islam at Brandeis University in Waltham, Massachusetts. His talk was titled Tradition and Interfaith Dialogue, and was a bold examination of how, from a traditionalist perspective, we might view some seemingly irreconcilable religious differences, in this case, how Christians and Muslims view the figure of Christ. In this clip, he discusses how traditionalists, particularly Frithjof Schuon, as well as the mystical Christian thinker Meister Eckhart, explain the Trinity in a way that might be acceptable to both Christian and even Muslim theologians.
That the oneness of God is fundamental to Christianity is clear in the beginning of the Nicene Creed. Quote, "We believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth," end quote. Nonetheless, the Trinity continues to produce complications. For if the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost are seen as three divine elements of which is comprised the divine essence, this would introduce multiplicity into the absolute divine principle, and thus compromise divine unity. If, however, as Frithjof Schuon proposes, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost are seen as three determinations or hypostatic manifestations, as Frithjof Schuon phrases it, or emanations of the divine essence, they would then occupy the same ontological status that some Muslim theologians attribute to God's divine names and qualities. While most traditional Christian theologians maintain that the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost constitute the three persons of the divine essence and are all equally to be regarded as being at the level of the absolute, others have rejected this position. This is most notable, many of you know, within the Christian mystical tradition, where the absolute unity of God is stressed in a way which clearly indicates the subservience of the Trinity to the divine principle. Most notably, 13th, 14th century German mystic Meister Eckhart distinguished forcefully between God, who comprises the Trinity, and the Godhead that is beyond all multiplicity. Quote, "All that is in the Godhead is one, and of this no one can speak. God acts while the Godhead does not act. There is nothing for it to do, for there is no action in it. It has never sought to do anything. The difference between God and Godhead is that one acts and the other does not." In other places, Eckhart refers to the Godhead as a citadel, the solitary one, into whom the God of the Trinity cannot look for one instant. Now, when understood in this way, the Trinity can be accepted by Muslims within an Islamic theology as an unfolding of the divine that does not compromise the unity of the divine essence. Now, this is not to say that Muslims should adopt a Trinitarian theology, not by any means. It is to say that within Islamic theology, the fundamental principles that many Muslims used to speak about the divine are also principles that are being attested to by Christian theologians, but through another means, through another rubric. If one goes through the centuries and looks at the commentaries upon the Quran from Muslim theologians, one almost always finds that they do not criticize Christian theology. They criticize Christianity because of what they see the Quran saying. When, however, one reads these criticisms with a broader knowledge of Christian theology and, perhaps most importantly, with what the Quran refers to as a spirit of coming to a word common between us, one sees that there is indeed much more in common and much that we can build on. Thank you.